Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here. Before this video begins, quick thing. This contains spoilers for volume 23 of the manga, for sure, but it's also very likely that this theory is correct. So, uh, just be aware of that, guys. But anyways, let's get into the video. It's not much of a spoiler, but something just, popped out to me recently. While I was just going through YouTube, um I see this video where the doctor that tells Deku that he's quirkless is holding him up, and something just stuck out to me. Wait a minute. That looks familiar. So I decided to look back in Volume 1, where you can see Deku's doctor right there, as well as Volume 23, where you can see the other doctor, as in the doctor who works with All for One. Now, obviously, the two have quite a similarity there. Both have quite a big mustache, they both wear goggles, and they are both completely bald. And keep in mind that the doctor that is in volume 23 is in current day, and the one that is in volume 1 is back when Deku was younger, and the beard is more flush, and the goggles are slightly different. Now, the simple fact of the matter is that when animating and drawing, usually you don't make characters look the same unless you have a very specific plan. Now, the Doctor doesn't get very much screen time in either one of these cases, but you can probably see where I'm already going with this. The doctor who was checking to see if Deku would have a quirk is the same doctor as the doctor who works for All for One, likely saying that Deku actually had a quirk. Now, obviously, there is a chance that I am completely wrong in this. But we all know that Deku has, well, for all intents and purposes, he has two possible quirks. Or three possible quirks, I guess. Being able to move small objects towards him, like his mother, breathing fire, like his father, or a combo quirk, such as, I don't know, being able to manipulate fire, as in the kind of thing that, well, All for One would really want. Now, the simple fact of the matter is that All for One really wouldn't care too much if he saw a quirk that allows somebody to move small objects or to breathe fire. I mean, come on, they're pretty simple quirks. But a quirk that is both combined into one to be able to manipulate fire, that sounds like something that he would want. Meaning that Deku's quirk, if it is, like I said, to manipulate fire, he would go for it. Now, the fact of the matter is that most likely the tests could have been done pretty easily while Deku was asleep, or even not really showing anything, because All for One has to do is touch somebody and he can remove their quirk, as far as we're aware. However, it does seem like there is some connections to the doctor, and needless to say, there seems to be something there. Something that feels important. Now, the Nomu that we recently dealt with is kind of something to also be thinking about, as he's not really hindered by fire, but he doesn't really have manipulation of fire, so I'm not going to go too far into that. But he is... Why go with that one to go off against Endeavor, unless he is really able to handle fire? Definitely something to think about. And if Deku's quirk happens to be in there, definitely seems interesting. Now, we all know that Deku, when he loses a quirk, when Deku uses, or when anyone uses a quirk, when somebody loses a quirk by being taken from All For One, they no longer have the quirk. All For One is then able to distribute the quirk back to other people. However, it does seem like he does continue to have the quirk. And it also appears that his sidekick, the Doctor, might have a similar quirk, because if he didn't, then the ability to actually create the Nomus, as well as 9 from the movie, wouldn't actually be completely possible. So, needless to say, something seems off. Now, like I said, why would this be important? Well, there's actually a few things. One, it's very likely that before long, probably in a few volumes, it will be revealed that the Doctor is the Doctor who checked Deku, and also the one who stole his quirk. At which point, Deku may get pissed and demand his quirk back. Or something along those lines. Or, something more likely, is that one of the quirks that lies within All For One, and I've said this before that it was possibly Nana Shimura's, however, there is some slight changes I would like to make, because apparently her quirk is actually float. Kind of a weird quirk, but I still think that somewhere in there is actually the quirk to restore quirks. Basically, you can touch somebody and it will repair their quirks. This was basically a quirk that seemed useless, but it was used very often afterwards as basically a way to restore people's quirks whose quirks were taken by All For One, and perhaps some other methods. This would actually be a really awesome quirk for Deku to have, as he could then use this quirk to help Mirio and a certain Wild Wild Pussycat, as well as to restore his own quirk, giving him the ability to use multiple quirks, to use even more quirks than we ever expected. Now, there's actually some things that I would like to talk about in a future video as well, about why All Might probably does have a quirk and it will be unlocked before too long. But definitely seems interesting, to say the least, about what could possibly be going on here. Now, obviously there's a lot that I would like to talk about more, and we will be getting into that more in the future. But for now, I think that these ideas should at least spark some interest in you. But anyways, guys, that will be it from me today. Expect more videos soon, including my My Hero Academia School Briefs audiobook, as well as a few other things will be coming out soon. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. Leave your comments and theories down in the comments below. Of course, if you are going to leave a theory, make sure you use the hashtag theory review so it can show up in either a video just normally or in my fan theory review at the beginning of each month. And of course, if you are new, please subscribe and ring that notification bell, because it helps out a ton. And of course, if you want to support the channel even more, then definitely head down to the description and check out my merch store as well as my book. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and I'll see you guys next time. But on!